So as you've seen down here in the basement, we keep a lot of big aquariums and big cichlids, big fish, but today we are unboxing some dwarf cichlids that are going to be perfect for some smaller aquariums, hopefully give you some ideas of what you could do in your own tank. So let's dive right in. And some of those big fish include these South American cichlids in my 500-gallon plywood aquarium. I have a big Oscar, big walrus, Severums, even a big bala shark. And I know that's not totally feasible for all of you to keep a big 500-gallon aquarium. Or even this 180-gallon aquarium that is 6 by 2 by 2 feet that currently has my black diamond stingray that I absolutely love, and I love showing it on the channel. But even the 180 is a very large aquarium, and I know some people may not have the means to keep such a large tank for a variety of reasons. And even in this 150-gallon aquarium, we don't have massive fish per se, but we do have a good amount of them and some medium-sized cichlids. So even these guys really need something like 75 gallons or larger, so the stocking options that we keep sometimes may not be something that you could keep if you have smaller aquariums. And so this fish delivery, the unboxing that we're going to be doing later on, is actually going to be going in a smaller aquarium than some of these big ones that are in my fish room. It is a 40-gallon breeder, which is a really good tank size for a lot of beginners, or if you have an apartment and you can't get a 75-gallon or larger. A 40-gallon breeder is a great size tank, and even a 30-gallon or maybe even a 20-gallon in some cases could work for the cichlids that we're going to be unboxing today. Oh, and by the way, the 90-gallon tank, which we just added fish to, is doing phenomenal. The angelfish have really settled in. The Bristlenose Plecos, the two small albinos, are in here doing work on some algae. The yellow melon discus is doing great, and also the algae in this tank has really died back with not only the Bristlenose Plecos, but also figuring out my lighting settings a little bit better and increasing my water changes on this tank just a bit. But overall, couldn't be happier with the progress on this tank. The angels are really going to start growing here, and I can't wait to show it more on the channel. And if you didn't see already in the previous video, we made some upgrades to the fish room. I broke down the 33-gallon African shell dweller tank and replaced that with a new 40-gallon breeder tank. And this was intended to be a quarantine tank for a few rounds of fish, but ultimately to set it up as a permanent aquarium with a really nice scape and maybe some of these dwarf cichlids. I also have two 20-gallon tanks, which have also been used as quarantine and breeding projects in the past, but I kind of want to set these up more permanently as well. So these dwarf cichlids we get could either go in the 40-gallon, or I could use a few of them for a 20-gallon tank that would be set up on a more permanent basis with a better looking aquascape. So the fish room and the tanks are all set up and ready for this new shipment of fish that I'm very excited about. So let's jump into the unboxing. So we have our fish delivery here. It is a smaller box because we have some dwarf cichlids in here. I believe we have 8 total fish. This came from Dan's Fish Online, and it came overnight UPS. Funny enough, I made friends with my UPS driver recently because he delivers so many fish to my doorstep. He knows when the package has live fish, so he comes earlier in the morning to deliver these. It's a really cool thing. It was also nice today because it was the first day it started snowing outside, and I definitely didn't want this package sitting in the back of a truck or on my doorstep for too long, so that was really cool. But let's go ahead and get this unboxed. And like I said, this is a little bit different than what I normally order because sometimes I get some big fish, but these are going to be some beautiful dwarf fish that could be good for some smaller aquariums, and we'll have some fun setting this up. There's also a group of some relatively rare cichlids, but I think they'll be really cool. Alright, so we got a little heat pack on the top here, and then we have some small bags of fish, so let's check them out. So first up, we have a small little bag. These are going to be hard to see because they're going to be small, but this is a Bolivian Ram. So this is one of the hardier ram species, but they get some good color and they're relatively peaceful, and I've been wanting some Bolivian rams again for a long time. And here's bag number 2. This is another Bolivian ram, so ram number 2. And this is the third Bolivian ram, so we got 3 total Bolivian rams. Decent size, but rams don't get too big either, so they'll grow a little bit, but they are already a decent size. Next up we have, so this is albino Bristlenose Pleco, and he's actually much bigger than I thought I ordered him at. The last package I got only a couple like tiny ones, but this one's a really good size already. But I absolutely love Bristlenose Plecos. I kind of have a problem.
I want that.
I've just been getting so many of these guys because they're great algae eaters, and I like their color and the overall look of these guys, and they don't get too big. They're not like the common Pleco that gets you know, way over a foot in length. So these guys stay relatively small. And the second, Bristlenose Pleco. This one's a little bit smaller than that first one, but still looks great. The next three fish are really going to be special. We have three Nanacara anomala, if I'm saying that correctly. The common name is the golden eye cichlid. And you can bet I'm going to use that clip quite a lot when I'm talking about the golden eye cichlid. Let's take a closer look. These guys again are going to be really small. I believe there's going to be one male and two females, but they stay pretty small, but especially the male gets some really great color. They're relatively peaceful small cichlids, and they could probably go in a 20-gallon tank long term. So these are going to be really cool options for people that maybe don't have that massive tank. And then here's golden eye cichlid number 2. This one is a little paler, so I'm not sure if that means it's male or female. Some of these might take some time to grow up for us to fully see what we have. And last but not least, our third golden eye cichlid. So as usual, once these guys are in their tank and settled in, we will get some footage of them, some closer up looks so you can see them outside the bag. So all the fish look great in here. I'm really happy with this order from Dan's Fish. I am now going to temperature acclimate them by placing their bags in the tank, letting them get up to the right temperature, and then we're going to plop and drop them into their tank. And they're going to be in this quarantine tank for probably 3 or 4 weeks. This is the tank we set up in the previous video, so let's go ahead and get them floating. Alright, we have the bags floating in the 40-gallon tank here. I'm going to shut off the light. We're going to come back in about 45 minutes. Now it's time to plop and drop. Anytime I do an online order where they've been in the bag for a while, I always do this method, and I would only recommend it. I would not drip acclimate. Let's go ahead and get these guys in their new tank. It's a bit cloudy right now just because it's recently set up and some driftwood in there that's leaching tannins, but overall should clear up in a couple days. Alright, Bolivian Ram. There he goes. This is the first of the golden eye cichlids. Little guy. These bags are interesting. They're little pockets of water, but it's sealed off and there's double bags, so it's not tied up and sealed like a lot of the other packages that I get. The second golden eye. And the bigger of the two albino Bristlenose Plecos. Let's get the other Pleco. Smaller of the two. There he goes. And number 3 of the golden eye cichlids right there. Here's number 2 of the Bolivian Rams. Looking good. And the last guy, I believe this is another Bolivian Ram. Yep. And here he goes. So the tank's a little cloudy, but you can see a few of them initially. Look at those guys. Beautiful Plecos moving around. But we will definitely get a better look at these guys after I turn off the lights for a bit, come back in a few hours, maybe even tomorrow. We'll get a much better look at these guys, and the tank will probably clear up a bit. And so this is the tank a couple days later. The tank has cleared up a little bit and the fish have really started to settle in. Like I said, I have 3 Bolivian Rams, which are considered dwarf cichlids because they don't get more than 3 inches, maybe 3.5 as mature adults. And they are South American cichlids that I absolutely love, and they would do great in a planted aquascape that I maybe intend to do for this 40-gallon breeder. And then I am very excited for these 3 golden eye cichlids in here because they stay pretty small, and this could be a really good option for maybe a 20-gallon tank if you just have 1 or 2, maybe a trio, or if you have a 30-gallon tank that you're looking for some stocking options. These fish don't get too big to where they would outgrow a tank of that size, so this is a really good option for some small tanks, and that's what I kind of want to show whenever I build out the 20-gallon tank and make a better looking scape in here. Right now it's just a temporary aquascape with a piece of driftwood, a few live plants, but I'm going to make this look really nice whenever I do put the golden eye cichlids in that 20-gallon tank. These golden eye cichlids are also from South America, so if you're super into South American cichlids like I am, this is a perfect option for you, especially, like I said, if you don't have a massive tank. And then last but not least is the 2 Bristlenose Plecos. Like you've seen in previous videos, I have stocked some of my tanks with more and more Bristlenose Plecos because I absolutely love these guys. They fit in really well with some small to medium-sized cichlids. They do a great job on algae, and I just really like the look of the fish. It's one of my all-time favorites that's not a cichlid. So these guys are doing great in their quarantine tank, and I definitely can't wait to show what I have planned and stocking options with these guys in their more permanent homes and the aquascapes that I had planned. So a lot is going to be happening soon, and I'm also, like I said, ordering more fish probably this week. So things keep coming for Cichlid Bros, and these are just my updates. Quinn and Alec are doing a lot on their end as well, so there's going to be a lot of new videos coming out this week. So now is a perfect time to subscribe down below. We really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.